And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Go ahead and say it, Ed. Go Tigers!
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
You like that? You like that?
F it. Jamar's down there somewhere.
In the room, saying select Marcus Davenport.
No!
Splash Brothers. Yeah.
It's playoff. Keep going, Brace.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
What is up, guys? Dirty Boot Sports, and we are back with another episode from the regulars. And this time, I'm just the one regular here. We got Aston, and we got Railey.
What's up, everybody? Good to be back.
We got a new addition to the Dirty Boot Sports realm where we're adding today. This is going to be under the regulars, but hopefully it's going to be a branch off into some very, very fun content. This is going to be the Apple Music Top 100 Albums breakdown, criticism, review. I don't know what we're going to do. Might be some positive, might be some negatives, might be something crazy. Who knows? Who knows with us?
But definitely going to be a whole lot of fun.
It will be. It will be. Aston's a huge music guy.
Yep.
Doing our Tuesday tunes that we've been doing this whole year, listening to way too much music.
A lot of music.
Way too much music. And yeah, whenever this Top 100 came out, we were looking at the list and we were like, we should do some type of content with this. Rayleigh's been sending in the music with his obscure 90s folk music. I don't know. What do you call some of that stuff?
I lump it into as Americana.
You've had you've had more things that I've got in the Excel spreadsheet a list of genres that we've done, like how many albums fit into each genre. You've made me put new genres on there more than anybody else.
I'm just rap or pop.
Like there's stuff you pick, and I look at the genre thing. I said I didn't know that was on Apple Music as a genre.
Yeah, right. I mean, it just doesn't fit. It's not mainstream.
Hunter picked
of mainstream.
Hunter picked
comedy because of Weird Al.
The Weird Al one was comedy, which I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
And then the Avett Brothers album that he picked was listed as folk pop, which I've never seen before.
Never heard of folk pop, and man, I hate labels.
I'm so bad at, like, if I listen to an album and someone's like, "What genre is that?" I'm so bad at, like, I can't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah, because
especially rock. Rock has so much variety that I don't even know what rock is.
Right. Is it metal? Is it hard rock? And you can watch one of those shows and you'll see all the different, genres that you didn't even know branched off of that.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, there's music. It's a lot more than just a one genre name.
Yes.
I mean, that's like just calling, a comedy movie a comedy movie. Like there's so much to a comedy, like that it's a different. I mean, it depends on, honestly, when it's made.
That's right.
A lot of the times, because a comedy movie now compared to a comedy movie in the 2000s is way different. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun.
I like to say,
like I said before we do that, like we got bigger plans as well.
Oh yeah.
Reviews, album breakdowns.
Top 5 list, Dirty Fives.
Dirty Fives, absolutely. There's always some drafts. Bring in some other special guests that love music, or some that are specialized in one subject. I'm sure we got some Swifties out there. Do a Swiftie episode.
Right. Hey, 80s fan. Shout out to Woods. He could kill that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we did the
an 80s songs draft or albums draft would be great.
We did. What was it? Was it 80s movie soundtracks that we did?
That's right.
That was very fun. Very fun. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff like that. And you got anything else to say before?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're a music lover like us, tune in, listen. You're going to love it.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to get some clips out of whatever we're doing. But yeah, before we do it, we got some names we want to run through.
I'm excited.
Stacy's his mind got to working last night, and he sent us a list of some interesting names.
I've got one real quick.
Okay.
Because I like this. I'm always thinking about band names.
Okay.
So right off the top, Lovers of the Loud.
Lovers of the Loud.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
His might be funnier than mine.
His are in the same vein of the alliteration.
Yeah, gotta have some alliteration.
I think what he did was look up a list of words related to music and find 2 things that started with the same letter.
Yeah, pretty much. Let me see. Where's it at?
Which one of my favorite ones was one that wasn't that, actually.
Lyric Lounge.
That was one of the 2 that I liked a lot.
Come on into the Lyric Lounge.
Lyric Lounge.
Yeah.
Sound Scouts.
That's really great.
Going into the sports.
And
That's right. That's right.
He did good.
Record rundown.
Definitely, I would pick that for album reviews for sure.
That's right. That's right. Sound check.
Soundcheck's the one I liked a lot. Soundcheck's so cool.
That's a good, and that's not even alliteration, but it just fits. It just fits. Rhythm Raiders.
I like it.
Chord Chasers. Selective Hearing. There's some good stuff. Now that might be a deaf podcast.
No, that's what wives claim we have. So
that's right. That's right. Yeah. That's right. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff in that, and we'll see how this top 100 breakdown goes, and hopefully get into something like that in the future. And also, before we do it, I want to shout out our new sponsor, Crown Detailing, and we'll do a little bit of an ad read for them. Crown Detailing offers mobile car detailing services, conveniently servicing your vehicle at your home or workplace. They provide various services for cars, boats, campers, and RVs, serving Ruston and the surrounding areas. Reserve your spot today by contacting 318-474-0859 or find them on Facebook by searching Crown Detailing. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
A little bit of a newer business, but I know the people that are running it, and Jackson Parish people, small business, help them out.
Hit them up.
Yeah, just got to work together and help each other grow.
Yep.
So summertime's coming. Get your cars, get your boats, get all that cleaned up, looking nice, and hit up our guys. So there we go. Y'all ready?
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to do the little background thing that we talked about?
Man, bear with us, people. A little intro. I'd like to explain. You want to go first, though, Aston?
Yeah, I can go first. Mine's probably shorter than yours. So I think I told Clay this a while back, which Clay watched it happen. But like until I was in maybe 8th grade, I didn't really listen to music on my own that much. Like I would listen to whatever was playing in the car, and that was I didn't listen to music at the house or anything. And Clay and I were friends from church and everything, and so he would like play music in his truck whenever we went somewhere, and I didn't listen to like a lot of rap before that. And so Clay kind of got me into like Lil Wayne, Chance the Rapper was kind of what I started listening to. So I started off with some rap stuff, and there was like a little bit of country that I listened to just because that's what was on the radio all the time. Yeah. And so there was some of it that I liked, but I didn't go to it that much. And then just, like the stuff that was like the like popular pop songs and everything that were on the radio that like everybody knew at that time. Yeah. Some of that stuff I still enjoy a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But throughout high school I started listening to a little bit more music, but it was mainly rap until about senior year. And then I started, actually Liam, the guy that I mentioned earlier, he
made our logo.
Shout out to him for making our logo for this.
Freaking wizard.
Yeah. He would play music in our yearbook class, and he was just in control of the playlist, and just played a bunch of like random stuff on there that I liked a lot. And so I got that playlist and listened to it, and then started to listen to just some other stuff that was not as much rap, and just kind of grew from there. Just started listening to more and more stuff.
Kind of branching out.
Yeah. So in the last, I think about 2 years ago, I started getting a lot more into rock in general, especially like 70s and 80s rock around there. And then I just I'll go through phases of like hitting like random genres. There was I don't remember if it was last year or year before last, where I went through like a phase for like a month where it was what am I trying to think? Motown music.
Heck yeah. Hey.
Which was just like a really random one to go into, but for like a month, that's what I was listening to.
It's like a gift, though, isn't it? I mean, you find these genres, and you're like, oh, I like this, and then you kind of explore it, and it's, I don't know, it's like opening up a present.
And especially this year with Tuesday Tunes, I've gotten a lot more into like finding songs that I like, but then also going and listening to the full albums more so than I did before.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, that wasn't even, Tuesday Tunes started as we're just going to send an album, we're going to make a graphic, we're going to post it for listeners to be like, oh, what is this? Let me go and listen to it. And then Aston's like, you know what? I want to listen to every album that y'all send. Like personal challenge, I'm listening to every album y'all send. So Aston's been listening to 4 albums every week this year.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Which is insane. I can't even,
it blew me away.
Me and Hunter watch every movie at celebrity theaters, but that's like 1 a week, maybe 2.
Yeah.
This dude's listening to what's that? Probably about 70 songs a week, maybe. Depending on the length of the album.
It's dedication.
It's where I was looking at
and I've thrown you some
spreadsheet earlier.
Too, so.
We've hit over 5,000 minutes of albums.
There we go. That's awesome.
And y'all have to look at it because I've sent him stuff to melt his mind.
Well, I did the when Taylor Swift did the new album, the full 35 songs.
Yeah,
over 2
Zach
hours.
Bryan, American Heartbreak. I think
that one was good.
Songs.
That one was enjoyable.
It's great.
The Taylor Swift one was rough because I was trying to finish it before the next week started, so I didn't pile up on other albums.
Yeah.
And the only time I had left to listen to it was while I was at the gym, and that was terrible gym music.
Oh yeah,
it was like Taylor Swift slow talking over her
Tortured Poets
stuff,
department
and
at
I
the
was
freaking gym.
trying to do bench press. I'm like, come on, Taylor, this is not helping.
Start crying.
Yeah, guys crying doing bench press. But yeah, that's. I totally forgot about the senior year list. I remember you sending the stuff, and that was when Michael Jackson happened to you.
Yeah, so
that's a bad way to put that. That's when Michael Jackson touched your life, right?
He's getting worse.
That was. I mean, I already like Michael Jackson because my mom liked Michael Jackson. Whenever he was on the radio, we'd listen to it.
But that was probably
there were a good bit of songs on there that made me start listening to more Michael Jackson.
That was probably the top 5 Michael Jackson songs that 99% of the population knows at that time. And then you listen to more of the in-depth stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me though, I mean, I'm not really, I'm not as much as y'all with the variety. My music, that started, I would say, it's either 5th or 6th grade. I had an iPod Touch. So that was kind of I'm going to download new music. I had a tiny iPod before that, but I don't even know what I had on that. Yeah. The first songs I remember listening to, and they're still 2 of my favorite songs ever.
I feel like I know what one of them is. Is it Replay?
No. Oh, that I loved that song as well, but what kind of got me into not just what was ever on the radio. It was on the radio though, but it was Bedrock by Young Money, and then right above it by Lil Wayne and Drake. Those 2 songs were coming on. What was the channel? Star 101.9. Remember back from Monroe. But I remember sitting in the parking lot
that was
the
FM 102 for me.
What was it?
FM 102 back.
Oh, really? Okay. But I remember sitting in the parking lot at the middle school while my mom was on duty, and it was hot. I'm like, I'm not sitting out here while I'm just gonna go sit in the car and listen to the radio. And those were the songs that would come on. I like this stuff. So that started getting me into listening to more rap and stuff like that. And because up to that, oh yeah, there's nothing in that fridge. Nothing in that fridge. But that's kind of where I've gone. And since then, it's been mostly rap, mostly pop. I've listened to
expanded into country this year.
Look at
Zach
starting
Bryan.
at the end of last year.
I don't know if I can call it country. I just call it Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
30
songs an album, every album.
I literally have a playlist with every song onto his name.
Hey, he's great. Eulogy. You shout out to that new song.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
He's incredible. That is literally all I've listened to since
January,
Thanksgiving. Probably.
That's a great choice. And we're talking about musical journeys. I hate to interject, but Ty was at a festival probably 4 or 5 years ago at this point. He's hey, go get this guy's album. I'm telling you, he's the next big thing. Me and Ty were listening to it before anybody else was. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Never heard of him.
That's awesome. Chance has a friend from Winfield that he said he was listening to him when he had 1,000 followers on Twitter. That's awesome stuff. I love his music. So yeah, that's been the biggest revelation in my music journey has been the past 6 months listening to country for the first time ever. But
there's more where that came from.
Yeah, definitely. But
Chance.
I've gotten to listen to different stuff the past couple of years as well while I've been doing the little DJing business because I do weddings that are for people that only like country music. So I play songs. So now I know what Tennessee whiskey is. When before that I didn't know what it was.
That's right.
And I know
Friends
Better Together. I know a lot of stuff. Stroking.
There you go.
Clarence Carter. So yeah, I've gotten to know a lot more stuff, but still, I mean, rap's my heart. And a decent amount of pop music. I mean, the popular stuff I will know. So I think what I looked on here, I've listened to probably somewhere between 15 and 20 of these albums, probably in completion, which is pretty much every rap album on there almost.
Yeah.
And then a couple other
partial
Yeah,
albums.
yeah, some other stuff in there, but we'll talk about that as we go. And Railey, what's your little journey?
Yeah, man, I've had a long journey, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. Just the high notes, real quick. I started out listening to country. That's what my parents listened to. I can remember making my brother turn it off. FM 102 is what we called it back in the day, because I did not want to hear that pop stuff. And huge Garth Brooks fan, huge Achy Breaky Heart fan back in the day.
There we
go. And then just by happenstance, my uncle went to a Christmas party, and he's like, "Hey, they gave me a Charlie Daniels album," and he didn't listen to country. He gave me a Merle Haggard album. Shout out Uncle P. And I listened to these things, man, and they were fantastic. So that kind of took me through some older Hank Williams stuff, and then eventually, for whatever reason, I went into rock. And then I went into really hard rock, and that was fun. You know, a lot of Metallica, Pantera, Cold Chambers bands of the '90s, which was cool. I think I was really angry back then.
yeah.
It certainly was an outlet. And
did you drive a big loud truck?
Come back up in a second.
I didn't have maybe that's what I was angry about. I didn't have a big.
You didn't have a big
truck.
loud truck.
Yeah, kept my foot in country all those years. Never was a big pop fan. And I'm telling you, in high school, I was such a snob. If it didn't have a heavy guitar riff, it was weak, and I didn't want to listen to it.
It was weak.
Yeah, I remember being like 311. I was like, I don't listen to that, man. You know, I listen to Pantera, Hate Breed, bands like that. And
Hate Breed.
Yeah, Hate Breed. I was telling somebody at work the other day, I've even heard of a song called like Kill It, Skin It, Wear It. I don't know what that's about.
That's the way of life right there.
I didn't buy it. It was on the radio. It freaked me out. But
freaked me out.
Yeah.
Kill it, skin it, wear it.
I'm gonna attribute it to the Roadhouse show on 107.5 on Monday night. They would play alt country or Americana or Texas country. There's a lot of different names for it, and I really got hooks laid in me on the songwriting aspect of that. This just took me on a wild singer-songwriter journey. Oh, and in between that, of course, a love for Leonard Skinner and all things classic rock, which has been a wonderful journey too, going through all that. And it kind of that course kind of rerouted me back to the singer-songwriter stuff, which is what I really enjoy. And we'll learn as we go a speckle or two of different things like rap and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have affinities for, but not a widespread base.
And that's more, your 90s,
Outliers.
2000s, stuff like that.
Well, A Tribe Called Quest to me is like the greatest rap album of all time.
I love that.
You know, their last album. I listen to it once a month.
Yeah,
that's how much I like it.
There we go.
But definitely Tupac. Yeah, I feel like he's kind of like my stepdad.
Oh yeah, everybody's.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like I said, we're very different backgrounds in terms of music. It's more gonna be y'all two, but y'all two are very different, and I'll kind of throw some knowledge in on some of these that I know pretty well.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, let's do it. So, number 100.
Number 100,
Body
baby.
Talk by Robin.
Did you listen to this one?
I'm not going to lie. So I listened to about 15 minutes, and then I stopped because this is not my genre, you know. And
This is one of the ones in this section that I have not listened to.
Really?
Because I was going through, and I don't know why I didn't start at the bottom and just work my way up. I've just been like going randomly throughout the list, listening to stuff. And this one I saw... I was going to listen to it actually like a day or two ago, and then saw the genre was dance, and then I read the little Apple Music description thing, and it didn't really sell me on it, and I was like, I'm going to listen to another one before I get to this, and I just haven't got to it yet.
I agree 100%, man. I probably have 10,000 songs downloaded, and I have zero dance. Every once in a while, I'll see a TikTok with some dance music and the beat drops. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
There's some stuff that's dance that I'd probably like. I don't know what falls as dance. I probably have something listed as it, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what it is.
And it's safe to say this would not have made my album cover. No, negative feelings. It just would not have made my top 100. I would have room for 1,000 other ones. And I think we're going to see that through the list, you know. I know in the top 20 there's another dance album, kind of dance stuff.
Yeah, I mean, with a dance album, like you're never just going to listen to that in your car, are you?
There are people that love it. They love it. They love the concerts. They're packed. They're high energy.
Well, for a concert, I could understand it, but I would think for most people, you relate music to listening to it in your car, or just like listening to it in your house,
and maybe like an outlet,
that.
you know, like connecting with an emotion.
Yeah.
Or I listen to stuff to get pumped up from work. I listen to stuff to wind down from work.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm with you. I don't see
Like Windows Dance
going
happen.
into work and you're like,
yeah.
yeah.
Let me get my Swedish
get
pop
pumped
on
up,
before
yeah.
I go to work at 7 a.m.
Or if you're sad, do you listen to dance? I don't
does
know.
that get you going? You're like,
I don't know.
I don't know. It's I'm not a dance music guy, so
Me either.
no disrespect
man.
to Robin.
No, go ahead, Robin. You made the
Robin.
list. We're
Yeah, you
proud
made
of
the
you.
list. We didn't.
Good job, Robin.
Lil Wayne didn't make the list. You made it.
Hey, Lil Wayne made features probably
Yeah.
10 times at
Yes,
least.
he is.
There's probably at least 10 Lil Wayne features
Yeah,
on
he's
here.
in the top 10. I'm almost certain.
I wanted to make a list of all the people that didn't make it, but
Yeah.
it's
hard
too
to do.
long.
It
I mean,
is.
Okay,
Queen's
I
not
will
on
say
here.
I will say though,
Yeah.
to make we talked about this a little bit about how it was a committee that made it and everything.
Yeah, you should know the
to
background.
make a top 100 albums list, to find even one person that's going to agree entirely is almost impossible.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I can't overall looking at this list, I really don't think it's a bad list.
No.
Honestly.
No, I enjoy the diversity because you're going to find stuff that you didn't know you liked. And you're right. That's how they came with this list, guys. It's a bunch of different musicians putting their opinion in. So you're going to have some outliers, is what I call them.
Yeah. There's going to be stuff on here that we just absolutely have no interest in,
And I think-
or never will.
Yeah. And don't worry, we'll make our definitive list one day.
Yeah. There we go.
From what I can gather from this, it feels like when they were determining what to put on here, there were 3 things that they considered.
Yeah, what do you think?
And
they
it
were?
was how influential it is.
I think
like,
so.
did other artists take from this album
Good
and
point.
start working from there? How popular it is, just
I
like
agree.
how many people know this album and everything, and then just like critically, like how good is the album on its own?
Yeah.
Like as objective as you can be about music.
I think that's great, and I like how you looked into that. And I don't know the word for this, but it also seemed like game changer albums made
Yeah.
the list. Like, hey, this came along and was completely different.
Yeah. And I think that's something that when I was listening to some of them that didn't fully click with me, I was like, it may not be that it's not a great album. It's that when it came out, it was the first one to do it like that. And I just wasn't there for that change.
Right,
so I
yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
what it was like to have that come out at the time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And they only have 2 people that have multiple entries, and it's Beyonce and Stevie Wonder.
Beatles are on there twice. I noticed it
they are?
earlier.
Okay.
Yep.
So
The Beatles better be.
yeah. Beatles, Beyonce,
They could probably be on there
Stevie
3 or
Wonder.
4 times.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, I think,
we'll get
I only
into
think
that later.
they have Sgt. Pepper's on there.
Ooh, yeah,
White
that's-
Album's not on there either.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I
crazy.
mean, but then you'd have a list of nothing but Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, oh well.
We'll have to rank our Beatles albums because that'd
I
be
love
fun.
the Beatles.
That's one of them that I was kind of what I was just saying a while ago that kind of falls into that category for me. I've never been able to get into them. Like, I respect them
Yeah.
as an artist,
Oh.
and I think like I understand why people like them so much.
Yeah.
But they've never clicked for me.
There you go. And when I was your age, I had the same mentality. Huge respect, didn't like it, just didn't appeal to me. And now I'm one of the biggest fans. So hang on, it's coming.
About 2011, 2010, Beatles Rock Band came out.
There you go.
And we balled it. And Chance played the drums. I played the guitar. My dad sang. We beat the entire game. So I love the Beatles.
They do have a few songs that I do really like, but
Yeah.
it's only a handful.
You know what did it for me, though? I'm listening to, like, college rock, and I'm like, Helter Skelter, man. I know this is a Beatles song. This must be a cover. I can't wait to find out who it is. And it was the Beatles. But it sounded so new. You know, it was timeless. I was like, this has to be, 311 covering the Beatles or something.
Yeah.
No, it was the Beatles. And this was 2000, and this was a 30, 40-year-old song, So
Yeah.
then I was like, I got to pay them a little more attention,
Yeah.
Yeah, Beatles are
I'll-
amazing.
Absolutely get around to them at some point, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Number 99, Hotel California by
Hey,
the Eagles.
That's a great album.
I think so, too. I mean, you definitely want to see this album on the list.
And I mean, obviously, Hotel California is the standout song from it.
Kind of quintessential 70s anthem. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody knows Hotel California for sure.
But I mean, there's plenty of other great songs on there.
Yeah.
Life in the Fast Lane's great.
Wonderful.
Wasted Time's great.
Wasted Time's great.
Victim of Love.
I think a lot of people know Victim of Love. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's
Killer guitar solos, Joe Walsh. I mean, just glad to see this album on there. And you go from dance to this, you're kind of like a breath of fresh air. I don't need to listen to this one. I know how good it is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I figured this would be one that y'all two would absolutely love.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I was saying, if we do a re-ranking or something along the lines of a top 10, top 20, I wouldn't be shocked if this gets in the discussion.
No doubt. It has that potential.
If it's a list that y'all mutually agree upon and come up to as a group, I think Hotel California is one of them that, I'm shocked it's only 99.
I'm not going to disagree with it just yet.
Yeah.
I'll have to get to the
It
end.
may be above some of the others on here, but I'm not going to say on a top 100 definitive list that it has to be higher.
I'm not angry at the position.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to put
Just grateful
a
for
side
that it's
note.
in.
Yeah, that's right.
98, Travis Scott, Astroworld.
I was
you're
kind of
going,
surprised this one made it.
I was as well.
I wasn't expecting to see this on there.
This is where I think it kind of almost gets a little bit political when Apple Music just wanted to include Travis Scott because he's like I feel like he's such a big thing with like brands and stuff nowadays that they just kind of wanted to have that inclusion of him. We think about like his
Well, I just would have thought if there was a Travis Scott album, which I didn't expect in general, I wouldn't have thought it was this one. I think Rodeo's his big one, right?
I think this one was more popular. Now I think the other two were what's the
which one has the white background? That's the one I'm thinking of.
Rodeo's the one where he's a toy.
Yeah.
And then there's is it something with a mockingbird or something?
Birds in the Trap.
That's
something.
it. Where it's like a bluish, pinkish color. And he's like kind of sitting on a throne or something.
Oh, yeah. No,
and what I wanted to put in, this is the first one I listened to in full.
Okay.
And I certainly enjoyed the experience. I would not say I know who Travis Scott is, but I'd really, if it's not on the radio, that's about it. It was creative.
Yes.
And sonically, there were things that caught my attention.
That's the best way to describe Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Honestly, exactly what you just said. He's never going to have lyrics where you're like, this is changing my life.
Right.
But he's always going to have music where you're like, this is very fun.
Yeah. You'll hear this throughout this list. I did not download this album. If I downloaded it, it is legit.
There's a few where I said this is a good album, but I didn't download anything because it's not something I'll go back and listen to on my own.
That's kind of how I would rate this. Great. Didn't really put its hooks in me, but I do respect it.
Now, I remember I wasn't necessarily a Travis Scott fan before this, but I was around for the hype. Like, this was very, very anticipated, and I loved the album whenever it came out. So it's cool seeing it on here. But yeah, I think if you go to like the deep rap community, the people that like dissect rap, they wouldn't probably put this in his top 2.
No.
In terms of his best albums.
I'm looking at Rodeo right now, one of his other albums, and it's 16 songs long. There's only 3 I don't have downloaded.
Yeah,
I think
it's a great album.
That is definitely the album I would have put over this. That one's genuinely a very good album.
And then Astroworld, I think it was just, the more popular, the one that, it was probably one of the most popular albums of that year. It might have won Best Rap Album. I feel like it was at least nominated for Grammys at the least, while those two might not have even been albums. They might have been mixtapes. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure if Travis released an album before that. But coolest thing for this to me is we went to a Drake concert 2019 in Houston. Like, when did this album come out?
2018. It
came out in 2018. So probably. Oh no, I went in 2018 actually. So it was September 2018 in Houston.
1 month after this.
Month after this album came out, we were in Houston whenever Drake was performing, and Travis Scott comes out in his hometown in the Toyota Center with 20,000 people, and loudest I've ever been in a building.
Killing it.
It was insane. And he did Sicko Mode, and then he did Goosebumps, which is one of his other songs. And that's I've been to like 11, 12 concerts now, and that's my number one concert moment is like, because we were on this side of the stage and you could see a shadow walk out and we're like, oh my God, it's him.
That's him.
And it was incredible. So very cool just seeing him respected like this, but I do think it's a little bit like we just want to get Travis Scott name on our list. Yeah. Let's go to 97, Rage Against the Machine.
Rayleigh, what is you speak first on this?
Oh yeah.
This feels like you.
Well, it is, man. It is. Not one I had to listen to recently, but an all-time great. Speaking of 90s hard rock, I mean,
when you brought that up a while ago, I said,
Yeah.
"Yep, we're gonna get there."
Rage Against the Machine was definitely top echelon there.
And that's, I assume, one of those where, like you were talking about earlier, where it just kind of changed things when it came out. Like it felt different and
definitely, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. There's really not even anything to compare it to.
Yeah.
Tom Morello's guitar playing, kind of, and like I said, I was angry. The violence in it, the violence in it, I don't know, it was fantastic, man. Bomb track, Killing in the Name of, all of the political stuff, just like, and it's funny to see that because they had a tour coming, and then people didn't realize how progressive they were.
Oh, it happened. Was that recently? It was them that changed some of their lyrics, and people got upset, and they were like, "This is what we've been doing for 30 years."
Yeah. Looking back, it's so funny, and it's so funny. And as a kid, I'm telling you, I did not know they were political.
Yeah.
So this was one I hadn't listened to until literally like a couple hours ago.
You need to work
and
out
I listened to the whole thing.
Yeah, you will be doing high reps with this stuff, man.
And
what did you like?
The political stuff was definitely the best part of it for me. I'm not a huge like super heavy hard rock guy.
Yeah.
I'm lean more towards the soft rock side of rock. So sonically it's not my favorite type of album to listen to.
Yeah.
But in terms of like how well made it is and the like message of it and stuff, I think it's very, very well made.
Dug it.
I also agree with a lot of the stuff from it. So
that's what's funny. A lot of my friends have pivoted, and now I'm like, this is my jam.
Like
man.
I sent something to Clay earlier in our group chat, or I just screenshot some of the lyrics off of it. I was like, yeah,
you can feel this. Yeah. So Zach De La Rocha, the lead singer, man, just and all of them came from kind of like an activist scene. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Tom Morello's mom's a longtime activist, and they nailed it when nobody else was.
Yeah.
You know, to some degree.
They said stuff that other people like. There's another album on here that has a song that would fit right in on there with Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah. That's right. That's a good
Police.
point, man.
Yeah. That one would fit right on there with this.
It's very interesting. Now, I've never listened to this before, but it's interesting that the lyrics can be so meaningful in something like a metal album. You wouldn't associate that.
Yeah.
Like you would think if it's something like a metal album where it's just going to be, essentially loud noises and lyrics that don't need to be heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that was part of the beauty in this for them is that they've got these deep lyrics, but it's behind, loud instruments and everything to where most people are just going to listen to it whenever you're 10 years old or whatever, like you said, and you're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, it just
but then
sounds
you've
great.
also got the other people that are going to listen to it and be like, those words hit.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. That's very cool.
But yeah,
I think it deserves a spot on the list for sure.
definitely deserves a spot on the list.
Like even if it's not one I'm gonna like listen to all the time, it totally deserves a spot on the list.
I'm telling you, man, working out, dude, this one will get you there for sure.
Number 96, Pure Heroine by
Lord.
I love some Lord. She's very good. I associate this song, this
Royals.
album to NBA 2K13.
Yeah, why is that?
I think it's Royals was on there actually.
Yeah,
Or no, Team. Team was the
Teams.
one that was on there. We do it for the team. Yeah, good song. Aston, you said you had something interesting to say about this.
Yeah.
You hate
this
it?
is no.
Oh.
I mean it wasn't one of my favorites, but I liked it. This very, very clearly inspired Olivia Rodrigo's music. If you listen to this song, the song Ribs on here could be put on Guts and it would fit in like it's a song off of there.
Are you saying it with the I'm trying to describe like it's almost like the
whispery thing that I've talked about?
Yeah.
You remember how I said some of the Gut stuff where I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about it, like her doing like the whispery voice on it. A lot of the songs on here sound exactly like that.
I know what you're saying. Where like
with
Lord's
Royals
music,
isn't one of those.
Yeah.
Teams isn't one of those. So probably the ones you've heard aren't like that.
I think Team kind of is a little
bit. But listen to the song Ribs off of here.
Yeah.
Sounds exactly like it should be on Guts.
It's kind of like the best way to describe Lord's music is like she never really gets above a certain point with her voice, and it feels like the music's kind of it's like magical, mysterious kinda in the background. Does that make sense?
I think definitely mysterious.
Yeah. Like the it's just like ooh, like something like that. And yeah, I could see where that does fit in with Olivia a little bit. So what did y'all think
listen to
about
Ribs
this?
after we end this.
It was one of those things. I'd definitely probably say I'm definitely not. Pop's not like dance to me,
Yeah.
But I'm not a big pop guy. I thought it was good. I thought it was clever and catchy. I thought her voice sounded great, but nothing. It wouldn't be in my top 100. No disrespect.
I don't. As much as I liked it, I don't know if I put it on here.
Oh yeah, I'm shocked it was, honestly. Whenever I read it, I was like, wow.
Which
Lord.
I know Lord's popular,
Yes.
but I didn't think this.
I didn't know this album was that popular.
This isn't what I was expecting from that.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking.
I know Lord as more of like I associate her with more like kind of artsy experimental stuff, and this wasn't that.
And as an album as a whole, I don't think. I mean, she's more like a single artist to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You put her singles together on an album, it's probably a great album.
If this was replaced with something that was same time frame, same genre, I would say a Paramore album would fit better.
Right.
Here.
Yeah, that's an interesting take, man. That there was stuff out there at the same time that was probably a better album.
Yeah. I was honestly shocked that she was on there. But yeah, that's cool. 95 Confessions, Usher.
Hey, this ought to be a popular one, man.
Everybody loves Usher. Right?
I was surprised to see this on there, but then this is one of them that I was like, okay, this is where that popularity part of that came from.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, because I can tell you when this came out, man, it was hot.
Yeah, I mean, you can just look at the songs and you've heard most of these.
Yeah.
And we just heard them at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Confessions, obviously. Burn.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the number one most played party song probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Every party I ever do, we play Yeah, and it always gets them going.
Burn's popular.
My Boo. It's a great song.
Yep.
I mean, you can pretty much list every song that's on this track list, and everyone knows it. Everyone enjoys it.
Yeah.
And I think it's people about your age, it's especially
definitely.
hits, right?
My wife went and saw Usher.
I thought that
in Vegas.
So you didn't go?
No.
You were in the casino?
I was going to go to a boxing match.
Okay.
and we ended up, the fees for the tickets for the boxing match were crazy.
Yeah, probably so. But
yeah, I skipped that. I like concerts, so I wish I would have went.
Yeah, I bet he's incredible.
Oh yeah, she said it was fantastic. She's seen him twice, I think.
Okay,
and she can't wait to go to the third time. There's a whole roller skating thing. Well, y'all saw it on the Super Bowl. Yeah, he roller skated. Yeah, so fantastic, and definitely gets everybody going. So
great performer.
Takes the shirt off.
Oh yeah, ladies screaming. So I like
little oil on the body.
Oh, without a doubt, man. I like to see this on the list, and it would probably be in the right position, I would think, because it's just
I wouldn't
so popular.
put it higher.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it's fair to be there.
And yeah, as you were talking about earlier, I mean, kind of a just iconic genre-defying. Like, if you think about early 2000s pop,
you're thinking
you think
Usher.
Of this. Yeah, like you think Usher, you think Confessions.
Yeah, and that's probably his more popular album. But I would say Game Changing was his first album, man.
I just saw that was his fourth album.
That
I
was
shocked to know
his
that.
first album. I mean, just took everybody by storm.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say about him. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. I don't think anyone will hate that pick.
No.
I've never met,
I hate Usher.
I've never met anyone that hates Usher.
Good luck arguing that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not happening.
What we got here? Untrue by Burial.
This is another one I hadn't listened to. Rayleigh, did you listen to this one?
British
man,
electronic
another
musician?
one. 10 minutes. That's all I could do. It's electronic. It's dance.
Dubstep. Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
Genres are dubstep, UK garage, and ambient.
Yeah, could not do it, so I can't tell you much about it other than I wouldn't put it on my list. No disrespect.
Yeah, this was one that when I was trying to get a few more in today between work and here, I looked at the other options, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to listen to that one right now.
Yeah, it was rough. And I'm excited about the next one, though.
What we got? Seat at the Table.
Number 93. Yeah.
What you think?
Loved it.
Really?
Instant download. Like, can't wait to listen to it again, man.
You're a Beyonce guy, though, right?
Yeah.
I do like Beyonce.
You've sent a couple Beyonce
I told Clay
albums.
before you got up here, I forgot. Like, I knew her name, and I couldn't think of why. I forgot she was Beyonce's sister.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know that. I feel like an idiot. I feel like an
You
idiot.
didn't know she was Beyonce's sister?
Maybe I did. I'm like you. I just knew the name, but
I don't
like,
think
I
it's
don't
a
know why I
hugely
know the
known
name.
thing. Yeah.
But
have you ever seen the movie Johnson Family Vacation? Cedric the Entertainer, Steve
I
Harvey.
remember that.
Cedric the Entertainer's daughter.
Yeah,
That's her.
really.
Yeah.
I'm learning all kind of things.
That's why I knew her. I knew she made music, but I've never listened to her.
the fact that she's Beyonce's sister means that family has 4 albums on this list because there's 2 Beyonce ones, a Jay-Z one, and her.
That is impressive, man.
Like that's an impressive family.
That's music royalty for sure,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. Yeah, that's her.
And
right
for the
there.
record, I was not a Beyonce fan. I was not a Beyonce fan, but my wife, she started playing Beyonce, and man, that one album, I'm drawing a blank. Lemonade.
Which that was huge when it came out.
yes.
I remember. I didn't even listen to it, but I remembered when it came
was
out.
hard to freaking listen to. Beyonce is so weird with her album releases, like especially in like the mid 2010s. Like there was also during the period where Jay-Z went everything to Tidal, and you literally couldn't listen to it on Apple or Spotify. You had to buy a Tidal subscription because the 444, that album, you could not listen to for like 2 years. It was insane. So, and Beyonce went through some weird stuff like that, where it was just hard to listen, like to literally get to it. Yeah, during the streaming era, everything should be able to be listened to, but hers were weird. So what was the Solange album like? What was y'all's?
I only listened. This was one of the ones that I listened to a couple songs off of on the way here to try and get some more stuff in. I liked what I heard.
Oh man,
I'm gonna listen to the rest of it for sure.
I think it's well worth it. It's super artistic.
This is one that had a Lil Wayne feature on it, so there's one.
Lil Wayne. There's also Master P dialect throughout it. And I thought
When did this come out?
Maybe
2016.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2014 or something like that. Completely missed it.
Q-Tips on it. What?
You know, I never listened to it at all.
Awesome.
And her voice is just fantastic. Naturally, now I know she's Beyonce's sister.
Makes sense now.
I feel really dumb, but I'm going to make that up with being a huge Solange fan now.
The studio she recorded it in was in New Iberia.
Wow.
Yeah, so throughout it, and it took me a while to figure out who's this guy talking, because it's just spoken word sentences, and he's telling about coming up in New Orleans and becoming famous, and different struggles too. And it was like at the very end, I was like, This is Master P, man. I feel like a dummy there too, but yeah, it's great, man.
I need to give that a listen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next is Flower Boy, Tyler the Creator. Did you listen to this, Railey?
I did, man.
What'd you think?
Another one of those that I downloaded it as well.
Nice.
A couple things off of it. Well, first of all, I know him, kind of like Travis Scott. I know
Yes.
he is.
Know
I
the
know he's
name.
very popular. I had never really listened to his music, short of like the Grammys, and I could tell instantly why this was on here, because it was, to me, it was like a game-changing sonically
Absolutely.
type stuff.
Everything Tyler the Creator does is like unique, and
He's a very experimental, and it
Yes.
usually works out very well for him.
It does. I'm mowing while I listen to a lot of this stuff, by the way, and some of the, like, there's a car door slamming, and I think somebody's behind me. I mean, and the audio's so good on that kind of impressed me. And two, not to start a feud, but this is 10 times better than Travis Scott's album, in my opinion.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Astro World, like I said, his music's not necessarily for like the lyrics or the experimentation. It's just more so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good music. You put it on, you're not really upset.
Right.
This is something where if you like it, you really like it.
Yeah, and maybe more of a thinking man's rap too. Because
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have to go and study some of the lyrics and
Absolutely.
learn what he's talking about. But you can tell he's going through things, and he's kind of expressing his emotions and stuff like that, which kind of drew me in too.
Man,
I don't love him, but if there's an album that I do like of his, it is Flower Boy. See You Again is an incredible song.
Yeah, that was the only song off of here that I knew. I had heard of 911 Mr. Lonely. I couldn't tell you how it went before I listened to this. But See You Again I listened to pretty regularly. That's a great song.
Yeah. Have you ever do you watch the Tiny Desk concerts on YouTube?
I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah. Watch his.
He's got a really
It's
good
very
one.
good.
I'll have
And
to
See
check
You
it out.
Again, they do it, and it sounds beautiful. And he's got the type of music where, with the instruments and stuff like that, you can have that Tiny Desk.
I bet he would have
performance
an
and
awesome concert.
Probably so.
Oh, without a
probably
doubt.
so.
The visuals,
He's
from
a
visuals alone.
he's a funny guy. Like,
he's hilarious.
He's just, yeah. I'm intrigued by this album being on here, and I like that you liked it.
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
like it's not
I'm
in
not
the
a
rap community.
fan,
I
really.
think it's kind of
It's very
underrated.
hit or miss for
Yes.
people.
Yeah. I mean, the people, like I said, the people that love him, love him.
Yeah.
But the people that don't are just kind of like, yeah, you kind of appreciate them, but that's really it.
Would it go lower on your list?
I mean, I think it's fine being in there. I think it's fine.
I think this is a pretty good spot for it.
Yeah.
I like this album a lot.
And it's got Lil Wayne.
It does.
Who's
There's
right.
another one.
I don't even
That's
think-
number 2.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
even
on,
think,
he's on Solange's.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is.
I don't
Lil
even
Wayne feats
think.
too.
appearance.
I don't even think Tyler's on that song. I think it's literally just Wayne for like a minute and a half rapping. Number 91, George Michael. Listen
I
Without
listened
Prejudice,
to-
Volume 1.
A little bit of this. I did not know this is where that Freedom song came from.
I did not know that either. Everybody knows that song.
Yeah,
It's a great
it's on
song.
commercials all the time.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was George Michael.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was this album.
And these were 3 albums I enjoyed listening to all
In a
back
row.
to back. So I'm like
That was
peeking
nice.
here. A couple things, not the biggest.
The next one's AC/DC.
yeah, I'm telling you, I hit a stride. Okay, and he was in Wham too. Just for you young people who don't
Okay.
know, he,
Okay.
was, Jitterbug song, and
Yeah.
stuff. So he was in Wham. Grew up knowing him, see him on VH1. That's about it. When I first saw this album and read a little about it, I really had low expectations.
I wasn't expecting what I listened to off of it.
Yeah,
Is not what I was expecting to hear from it.
I agree. I was expecting a lot of synthesizers, a lot of
I
maybe
was thinking,
cheesy 80s music type vibes, and it was not that at all, man. It's a good band. One song in particular is really jazzy, which was pretty cool. And this was another one, man. I went ahead and downloaded, man. Freedom's great. I thought that Cowboys and Angels song
See,
was
I was
good.
just expecting the only one I knew for sure from him was Careless Whisper. So I was just expecting more of that.
Yeah.
And it's not what I got from what I listened to.
No,
And so I'm definitely going to listen to the rest of it.
front to back, it's really good, man. The last song on the album was
What
great,
was
man.
The one that there was one I listened to on the way over here I liked a lot.
Praying for Time's great, man. Lyrically, I think it's really good. And again, the music, man.
Something to Save was the one that I
Something to
listened to
Save.
that I really, really liked.
Yeah, that's definitely worth your time. Again, don't know if it would be any higher or lower, kind of like where
Yeah.
it's at.
Yeah.
Wouldn't push for moving it, but definitely surprised by that one.
I can't say that I've ever listened to, like, I've never, went and I'm like, I want to listen to some music today. It's going to be George Michael.
Yeah.
I've never done that, but I know
Yeah,
the
right.
name. And, yeah, I mean, him being on this list doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, it's great.
Number 90, Back in Black, AC/DC.
Yeah, another one I didn't have to listen
I'm
to.
about to say, I'm
man.
sure this is a classic for you growing
So
up.
you don't get to Rage Against the Machine without AC/DC, and definitely on my journey that was it. I think you kind of go from Leonard Skinner to AC/DC. And
Everyone's heard some songs on this album before.
Yes, then your mind gets completely melted. So I want to talk about the songs, but I want to tell you all a little history lesson too, man, because I love music history. So I did not know this back when I first listened to this song, but there was an original lead singer for AC/DC named Bon Scott, and he was on the albums up to this point, and he died. So
Was it a plane crash?
I
I feel like
don't
everybody
think
died in a plane crash back then.
You got to remember.
a lot of them.
You got to remember when you find out about this. This before the internet. I don't know if it's true, but the story I heard cannot be repeated on a podcast.
Okay. Hey, anything can be repeated on a podcast.
No, it cannot. It cannot. You'll have to Google it real quick while I give a little.
What's the name
spiel.
again?
Bon Scott.
I
And
feel like I'm going to have heard of this when you pull it up.
and then this is the first album with their new lead singer, and it. Hold on, I'm losing my train of thought real quick. Brian Johnson, he's a new lead singer, so that was kind of a mind warp for me. Is wrapping around and going back and figuring out what songs Bon Scott was on when somebody explained that to me, and what song Brian Johnson was on. Because in my mind, Brian Johnson is the ACD singer, and some people say, "Well, I can't tell the difference." There is a difference; it's noticeable. The hardcore AC/DC people are really upset at this album because in my mind it's the greatest.
Yeah.
Well, it was written and waited to be recorded by their favorite Bon Scott.
Yeah.
And then he died, and this guy just walks in and makes
So
the
what
biggest
album
AC/DC.
was this in AC/DC's like
discography.
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Seventh. Holy crap.
It's there's a lot in there, man.
Wow.
There's a lot in there before that. And but let's go to the track listing, man, because it's one of those you put in and you play from beginning to end. Everybody knows Hell's Bells. I mean, it's a great tune. Shoot to Thrill, another one. I'm gonna skip on down to Back in Black.
Back in Black is an album that is a celebration of thrashing animal sex.
There is some sexual undertones, They're like giving the dog a bone,
shake a leg.
Yeah.
Bon Scott, though, his death was classified as a death by misadventure.
Yes, it was certainly a misadventure. Have a Drink on Me is a fantastic song, man. You Shook Me All Night Long is great.
See,
if you listen to one song, though, that is a deep cut, and this, when I think back, this was probably my first deep cut love, and I have a thing for deep cuts.
Let me put my love into you.
Yeah, sexual innuendo. Sometimes you feel bad. But the album that made me blush the most was Travis Scott, by the way, just for the record. This might be number 2 out of the top 10. This one made me blush a little bit, but Travis Scott.
Oh, he does have some songs on there.
Yes, he's got some.
What does he have on?
Some stuff on there. But look, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution is my all-time favorite song off this album. It's great, man.
Yeah.
You got to listen to that. It's a deep cut. And I think with some of the favorites, you hear them so many times, you don't really care to listen to them anymore. Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution is not like that. Just fantastic.
I think maybe that's part of my thing with this, but I've never been a big AC/DC fan.
Yeah.
Like any song I've heard, maybe just because I've heard so many of them so many times.
Yeah.
I think that gets to you.
Like
I think it's a
there's
big
all the
thing
ones
for
I
me.
recognize on here. I'm just not a big fan of, and maybe it's just because I've heard them too much.
We'll make a note, man. Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. See what you think. It's kind of like a rock anthem, man.
All right.
Advocating
I'll
for
listen to
rock.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. We haven't really talked about it a lot yet because we're only 10 albums in, and some of them haven't really been incredibly popular to us. But I think once we get to that top 50, 40, 30 range, you're going to get into songs where or albums where you've heard the song so much where there's almost like a little bit of I don't necessarily find the music to be that great because it was so popular and so overheard.
Yeah.
Do you feel that at times with songs?
Big time, man.
From
people I love, Enter Sandman. Metallica is one of my favorite bands. I do not want to listen to Enter Sandman again. I will. I will. I don't hate it.
With Lil Wayne,
I've just heard it enough.
6 Foot, 7 Foot was one I could never really get into just because it was so popular and just I don't know, but I could throw on the most random Lil Wayne feature with a band you never heard of, and I love it.
It is weird, right? And it doesn't seem to get old.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. Maybe it's radio playing in the background.
I think that's exactly what it is. And there's a difference in, if you listen to it, if you hear a song that was on the radio just so much at some point, you're just kind of like, yeah, it's a good song, but it's not one that I love.
I've heard it 4 times today.
Yeah. But if it's something that, you discover on your own or you put on your own phone, and that's whenever you discover it and you start falling in love with it and listening to it over and over, that's a totally different thing.
That's one of my favorite things that I've gotten from Tuesday Tunes is listening to an album where there's a song or two that I know off of it, and then I listen to the rest of it, and there's some random song I'd never heard of from them that I absolutely love.
And you fall in love. Yeah, that's another one of those gifts, man. You're like, this is great.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting conversation as we get higher on the list for sure. Number 89, The Fame Monster, Lady Gaga.
Totally impressed with this album. I've seen Lady Gaga, by the way, Las Vegas. It was
she awesome?
It was great. It was a jazz
show.
show.
Was it?
Two or 3 years ago.
Did she do any of Star Is Born stuff? Shallow?
I think so, but she did a lot of Bennett, jazzy type stuff. So it wasn't her typical concert, but totally worth seeing. But I look forward to seeing her in a regular show too. Casual fan, I would take it. My wife loves her.
Yeah,
I know all these songs. I didn't know all these songs came from this album.
I know.
Yeah.
When I looked at the track list earlier, because I didn't get to listen to all of this one.
Yeah.
But when I looked at the track list, I was like, all of these were on this album?
I agree, man. I agree.
Bad Romance, Alejandro, Monster,
Bangers.
Telephone,
Paparazzi, Just Dance, Poker Face.
Poker Face.
Poker Face is that might be my
crazy.
favorite one of hers.
Yeah, Poker Face is great. So how many bangers is that? That's definitely 6.
We just named
top 10 singles.
I'm about to say those.
I'm about to see how many singles there were.
totally worth being on the list. Mad respect to her for putting this out there. And I do love Stars Born, by the way.
Oh,
favorite movie, favorite soundtrack album. I'm going to share that next Tuesday Tunes because that's a great album.
It's wait, has
No,
Hunter done
picked it.
Oh, dang.
I was about to say, we love that movie.
Yeah, good call.
The singles were Bad Romance, Telephone, Alejandro, and Dance in the Dark. So yeah,
I feel like Dance in the Dark's one I know if I heard it.
Yeah, that's the one I'm not really sure of exactly. I'm sure if I play it, I know it, but the other three I absolutely know.
I'm going Alejandro best song, and I say that they're all really close, but that's probably my favorite.
Poker Face has been the one. I think it's just different.
Poker Face is great, man.
It's very fun.
Yeah,
This is a great album. And like you said, didn't really
realize
that everything was on here.
This is a good pop one from this era to put on here.
Definitely. And
2009 feels so long ago.
How old were you then?
9.
I can't believe this came out in 2009, though.
I thought it was newer. I was thinking 2011, something like that, 2012.
I tell you, we'd probably need a bigger fan to advocate for it to be higher, but looking at the songs, I think this could totally go higher.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Lady Gaga was, she wasn't for everyone, but she's someone that was literally everywhere. Everyone knew of her in the early 2010s, and I think, I was just talking about the overplaying and stuff. I never really had that with her.
Yeah, I agree.
I was about to say that a while ago.
Anytime her music came on, I was cool with it.
The overplaying is weird because there's some stuff that gets played just as much, but it just makes you love it instead of hating it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I do want to add this musical trivia. I'm almost certain she offered Telephone to Britney Spears, and she turned it down.
I could see that.
Yeah, which
that sounds like a familiar fact.
So. Well, now it definitely. I see that now.
Yeah,
but I think that's true, man.
And I could see Britney doing that. Great album. I think we're all pretty good on that one. Nina Simone and I Put a Spell on You.
So I had heard of Nina Simone for sure.
1965.
I don't know if I had actually heard any of the songs themselves, but I Put a Spell on You sounded familiar. I listened to that one, and then I listened to what was the other one on the way over here? Scroll down the track list.
I Put a Spell on You. Tomorrow's My Turn. Ni me quite pas.
Yeah, that was interesting, man. That was a Spanish joint, I'm pretty sure, and that threw me for
Feeling
a loop,
Good.
Man.
You've Got to Learn. Beautiful Land.
Feeling Good is probably what you're thinking about because that's a popular song.
Feeling Good, maybe Feeling Good was it.
You might
was that the one that was sampled on Watch the Throne?
It's sampled on everything. It's on movies. It's a new day. It's a new day.
Yep, that's New Day on Watch the Throne. That's what that samples.
So that's everywhere. I listened to this whole thing out of respect because kind of like you're saying, I know the name. I feel like a little bit of shame that I couldn't name you a song off the top of my head.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like I should know this, and I didn't.
Exactly. So I said, hey, I'm going to listen to this from front to back. I did not enjoy it.
She has a very interesting voice.
It really is, man, and it's almost, to me, too mundane.
Yeah.
Like, I know people are going to come at us in the comment section, but I didn't feel like, other than being unique, it wasn't beautiful. To me, it really wasn't a beautiful voice.
It feels like the female version of, who is it, Louis Armstrong I'm thinking of?
Right. Good point, right? He's got such a unique voice.
It's like a very...
raspy.
raspy.
It's not polished per se or like a vocalist. Like, I don't know. And I'm curious because I've always heard her as a singer. Does she have other albums that would appeal to me in a different way?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even certain that I Put a Spell on You is the best version of this song. Because it didn't ring a bell, and I want to say I would be willing to bet that somebody covered that because back then everybody played everybody else's music. So
that's
it's so hard to figure out what's an original song in that time period. It's just like, there's like 6 people that cover this song, and they're all like equally popular.
Interesting fact on the Wikipedia page: in 2017, NPR placed this album at number 3 on the 150 greatest albums made by women.
That's great, and I do have mad respect, and I really feel bad saying it. What year did it come out? Because I can tell it's
65.
really early. Yeah, it's really early, and I think it might have been a game-changing album back then.
That's what I was thinking earlier.
I'll tell you this. I went and...
Feeling Good is a 10 out of 10, though. If you take any way, because I listened to the whole album, Feeling Good's great. It needs to be downloaded. It needs to be listened to. Just from a nostalgia factor almost. Like, I know this song from so many different things.
I went and I DJ'd a little dance at the nursing home a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I played a lot of 50s, 60s.
Well,
everything sounds the same.
Yeah, and I would have to come back with a definitive list, but I can think of better singers from the 60s.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I would say probably the reason why everything sounded pretty similar, Beatles weren't there yet, and they changed everything.
They did. You're right.
Like, even for someone who doesn't listen to the Beatles all the time, so much changed because of them.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, so many different genres branched off of their stuff.
You ever seen the movie Yesterday, Railey?
I don't think so.
You got to watch it. It's great. It's
So-
about the Beatles and
Is it the documentary?
No, it's
It's an alternate universe where the Beatles didn't exist.
Yeah, and that guy, nobody's
he
heard the
remembers.
songs.
he just starts he just starts singing the Beatles
Yeah,
songs.
I've always wanted to watch that.
Very good
man.
movie. Very good movie. Number 87, Blue Lines
I feel like
by
if
Massive
anybody's
Attack.
heard of this, it's Rayleigh.
No, believe it or not,
I had
you know-
never heard of either the album or the artist.
no. And what do they call it? Trip hop? What they had a name
Yeah,
for
trip
it.
hop. We
Trip
looked at
hop
it earlier, and I was
British
like, "What
hip
is
hop.
that?"
Yeah, looked at the album cover, thought it looked familiar. Looked at members of the band and thought it looked familiar.
Producer Johnny Dollar, is that a off-brand Johnny Cash?
It might be.
Johnny
Maybe
Dollar.
it might be his nephew.
Yeah.
But started listening to it, and was like, nope, never heard of these people.
I listened to the two that had the little like circle that
Star.
means they're popular
Yeah.
or whatever on Apple Music, and I was like, I don't get it.
God bless you, Massive Attack. It did nothing. It did nothing for me, man.
I didn't. Yeah, I was,
No
I don't know.
download for me on that. And maybe it's a genre changer, and that's why it's on there.
it's the only trip hop I've ever heard.
But
of.
let's be real. This is where a little criticism is going to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's the first trip hop album of all time. They're big influencers. I really couldn't even pick up on anything this influenced, though. And maybe it's the English. Maybe it's, big in England. But, man, we have a lot of albums behind it.
So,
I
yeah,
mean, even Lady Gaga being behind this is kind of
Trip hop began late 1980s and went to the early 1990s. So probably like a 5-year span.
Didn't even last long.
It was pioneered by acts like Massive Attack, Tricky, and Portishead.
Yeah, I remember people
Portishead.
liking Portishead, but
Portishead.
okay.
Hotel California being behind it, Back in Black.
That's
Killing
pretty
in the
crazy,
Name of.
yeah.
It's pretty crazy
Pretty
for a
crazy.
band we've never heard of.
Yeah.
And then we tried to listen to it. And
Hey,
it didn't do anything.
great nicknames by the members though. We got Daddy G, 3D, Tricky, and Mushroom. So I mean that's some trip hop names right there. Blended elements of hip hop, dub, soul, reggae, and electronic
I
music.
didn't get any soul from what I heard.
No, me either. Is Travis Scott trip hop?
That he's trap.
I got you. I'm getting them mixed up. Yeah, trap hop. Trip
Mary
hop.
J. Blige, 86 with My Life.
I like this one a lot.
Shout
I like
out,
Mary J.
Shout
Blige.
out to Nicole.
This
you
is
know,
probably one you didn't have to listen to.
No, I'm not a big Mary J. Blige. I can't even speak. Mary J. Blige fan, and I do listen to stuff around the house. But I do have to shout out to Nicole. She loves this album. She spoke highly of it. She didn't really say it would be higher or lower, but wildly popular. I listened to it out of respect. It didn't do a lot for me. Her voice is definitely beautiful.
Yeah.
The music's great, but I'm gonna turn it over to you, Ashton, because
I like
64
Mary J.
minutes.
Blige. There's a good bit of songs off of here that I have downloaded and everything. I don't know if I would put it over some of the ones we've already gone over.
Producer
probably Babyface. If I was to guess, it's not Babyface.
P. Diddy.
P. Diddy. Okay. Yikes.
Relevant.
I'm trying to remember what song
Prince.
she
Is
loved
that
off this. Maybe
Prince Charles Alexander. What?
That sounds like a
Is that-
royal family member.
Oh. Okay. I don't know who that is.
So do
I
you
like it.
You liked it a lot?
Yeah. I think I would have it lower on my list if I was making one, but
Hey.
just because the songs that are good are very good,
Yeah.
but there's a decent amount on there that are just like, yeah, they're good.
Okay. That's kind of what I got, man.
But yeah, and when you have a decent amount of songs that are just like, yeah, it's okay. I don't think it needs to be. What is this? What number is this on the list? Like 80 something.
It is like 82, I think. No,
86.
86. I think it could be down in the 90s and it would be acceptable.
Yeah, interesting.
The album was a breakthrough for Blige, who at this point was in clinical depression, battling both drugs and alcohol, as well as being in an abusive relationship. So that probably was a big story at the time, if I had to guess.
Oh, yeah.
And that was
And it had
a big factor.
Had
in
Marvin Gaye
breakthrough
on
and
it
everything.
as like a recording, I assume, because he was dead by then, right? When this was recorded?
Yeah.
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 And
he
I didn't know how he died until
his
a
dad
while
shot
back. and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, isn't that terrible?
But, yeah, crazy story. But I appreciated his on there because I'm a huge Marvin Gaye fan. So
85. Casey Musgraves and Golden Hour. This is new, right?
Yeah,
2018. Yeah. I'm a big Casey Musgraves fan. I love the way she looks. I love her voice because it's so chill.
Yeah.
But to be negative for just a minute, she's probably one of those. If you strung her singles together and put them on an album, it would be in the like top 10 for me. I have never listened to this one in its entirety. I had the lead-off single down, "Slow Burn," which I think is a fantastic song. It's certainly, you got to remember, this is some branch of country.
Yeah.
And it's definitely different than mainstream country, which I think a lot of our listeners would say.
Yeah, it's more like a pop country type thing like that.
When she came out, she kind of bridged a gap. So maybe that's why it's on the list. Totally enjoyed it. I downloaded it. I'm going to give it a 4 or 5 spins and see if it maybe grows on as one of my favorites. But I don't know if it would make my top 100 list.
I haven't listened to all of it. I listened to some of it on the way over here. I'm not a Casey Musgraves fan. I've never really enjoyed a lot of her songs that come on the radio and stuff in the car.
My wife hates her.
I'm not a fan. And the one song I think that I don't have downloaded on, or maybe I have it downloaded, but it's my least favorite off of there.
Zach Bryan.
On Zach Bryan's self-titled album is the one featuring her.
No, that's a fantastic song, man.
I love the song just because I love anything
is
that
great.
dude's name.
That's my least favorite on that album. For sure.
That's
but
great.
Also,
did you listen to Velvet Elvis?
No,
Velvet Elvis.
That's on this album. Yeah.
Listen to
Space
this,
Cowboy
Railey,
was good
because this was one that I listened to on the way over here. I told Clay about this. The beginning of Butterflies by her sounds exactly like another song, and I was trying to find the link between them, and I couldn't establish any connection, but they sound the exact same.
Well, yeah, what was the other song?
Okay. Remember that part.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then
Golden Hour contains elements of disco, electropop, and yacht rock.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely felt that some
and then
different influences other than country. Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Great tune there.
that sounds the same, does it not?
It does. And we learn this on TikTok all the time. They'll speed a song up, slow it down, reverse it, and you're like, wow, that's how they got that.
I love that stuff.
We'll have to do some more digging to see if...
Because I couldn't find anything, but I was like, that's the same sound, and it's just adjusted somehow.
Does it make you angry?
No, it doesn't make me angry. I was just like,
find it interesting?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that bugs you until you figure it out.
Well, and if it's like a favorite group, you feel... But I feel like people are so influential. Like, if you hear an influential, like, okay, yeah, I see how you kind of sound like AC/DC.
What I do love is finding samples of songs that I already know, and then I listen to an older album. I'm like, that's where that came from. I love that.
So many of those, you're like, this is where Kanye West got this.
Kanye's the number
He's
one.
probably the number one
guy.
guy.
Happens a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
There's so much Kanye.
We've already done that once on here.
I love that.
You listen to a legend, and you're like, oh man.
And a very cool one for me is I figured it out about 2 years ago. The song "Workout" by J. Cole. Mm-hmm. It's like his first song that really got popular.
New workout plan.
Paul Abdul. Straight Up.
Yeah, gotcha.
That was the.
I didn't realize that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So that was like a 1980 song, and the entire chorus for that song for Paula is the exact same one for J. Cole.
Yeah.
And that was very cool.
I had listened to Straight Up before the J. Cole one.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, that's what that is.
When that song came out,
but
J.
then
Cole, I loved it.
J. Cole's came out before College Dropout, because that's what the new workout plan on College Dropout is.
No, College Dropout was like 2004. J. Cole was 2013.
J. Cole sampled both of those? Because I think there's similarities in those.
I don't know. Maybe.
I haven't listened to it in like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't listened to College Dropout whenever J. Cole dropped that, though. Yeah. I mean, it might not have been 2013. I don't know when it was. But yeah, Casey Musgraves, so kind of hit and miss on there.
Yeah, I would take her off the list. Might be unanimous, and I love her.
Yeah. I wouldn't have it on here for sure.
Wouldn't say that for the next guy.
Doggy Style, Snoop Dogg.
Hey, let me take you back to listen to this in like 1994. And before, I know you said, well, I thought you listened to country. Yes, I was listening to country.
But who didn't love Snoop Dogg?
But my neighbor had this. Yeah. And, man, what an instant classic. you know, and then I ended up going into Tupac and going back and listening to this, and it's justifiably on the list.
Yeah.
Let's just look at the track listing real
I haven't
quick.
gone all the way through this one.
Well,
but this would probably fall under one of my most controversial opinions on here because I just am not a Snoop Dogg fan.
Really?
Like, I don't know what it is. Gin and Juice is great. Yeah. I'll give them that. That one's great.
Lottie Dottie.
Lottie Dottie's great.
That.
Look, G-Funk intro is great, though. You might have to go back and revisit that. I don't know how you can't get grooving on G-Funk intro.
I probably would like that. I like G-Funk.
Doggy Dog World. Murder Was the Case.
Murder Was the Case.
Yeah.
You know.
I got
which my dad's
the Shiznit.
My dad's the same way. My dad doesn't like Snoop Dogg, but he likes this album.
Yeah.
So if I listen to this full album, I'd probably be fine with it.
I would agree, not as an expert, but I would like to say this is the quintessential Snoop Dogg album.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Especially when we're talking about playing front to back. This is probably going to get.
And it's just an iconic album. Just
it is
the sense of the music, the freaking cover,
right, the cover, kind of obscene cover, and who doesn't know Gin and Juice?
Yes,
yeah. I mean, any age group, you know Gin and Juice, man. The Gorge had a Gin and Juice cover, by the way. For talking about obscurity, it's a kind of folkish cover. You would love it. Check it out, The Gorge.
This was one of the albums, probably 10 years ago now. Whenever I was really starting to get into like more old school hip hop stuff like that.
Yeah.
Chase, my oldest brother, bought me for Christmas 3 Apple Music albums.
Yeah.
And it was he gave me like it was almost like a little vinyl cover, but it was just a piece of cardboard with a taped picture. And it was this, The Chronic, and East 1999.
Oh,
gotcha.
That's a good one.
I mean,
that's a good brother.
It was a great 3 picks, and that was like, that was whenever I got to listen to some of this older stuff that I hadn't listened to at the time.
Did it latch on to you right off the bat?
Yeah, I mean, I loved all 3 of those albums.
Yeah.
This is one that I'm not a just huge fan of Snoop Dogg, but I do love this album, and I do really like a lot of these songs. Lottie Dottie's my favorite.
I think so too.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Is that a deep cut? It's definitely less popular than Gin and Juice.
Yeah, and I would say Doggy Dog World's probably more popular. I'm surprised the Shiznit's not that popular. It doesn't have a blue title. I feel like that's one of the more popular ones.
Yeah.
But Lottie Dottie's my
Lottie Dottie. We likes to potty.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, great album. So Aston, have you listened to this one in its entirety?
No, that's one of the ones that I didn't get to yet.
I
think I would probably like this one more than
Snoop Doggy.
Dog.
So good. So good.
Well, let's take it down a notch.
83 Horses by Patti Smith.
Haven't listened to this one either.
Well,
I didn't get to this one yet.
So a lot of my heroes, their hero is Patti Smith. So when I came across this one, I was pumped up because I really don't know many Patti Smith covers. I'm committed to listening to it to front to back and was complete. And look, people are going to rake me over the coals because she's like a legend. And man, I did not like it. I did not like her voice. I'm a big guy who likes storytelling. So there were a couple songs that kind of started to appeal to me on a storytelling basis. I'm trying to think which.
Gloria.
Gloria's got an interesting opening line. It is, Jesus died for somebody's sins, but he did not die for mine.
Okay, there we go. That's how you open an album right there.
Free Money was kind of interesting, and maybe Kimberly or something was a story, and I just couldn't get into it, man. So I think there's a lot of people that put this on the list, and I'm taking it off completely.
Okay. So what is her music like? I don't know anything really about her.
Punk.
Yeah,
punk rock.
I wouldn't have guessed
punk,
that based on the cover.
rock.
No, yeah, I think maybe for a female artist, maybe she was a punk origins.
One of the
artist.
first ones.
But definitely when I listen to it, you don't go, "Oh, this is punk." When I think punk, I think of Fugazi or something like that. The Ramones, nothing like that. This it's blended a lot of styles in it for the way, but it's definitely more folk than anything.
Here's something interesting in the Apple Music description thing for it. This says She enshrined Bob Dylan and once said that her blind love for her father was the first thing she sacrificed to Mick Jagger.
Whoa.
I don't think God died for her. Right?
Her blind love for her father, she sacrificed for Mick Jagger.
That is interesting.
That's a
I would have
heck
never
of a
told
line.
anybody that.
There we go. I mean,
What does that mean?
That's Patti Smith.
No wonder I can't relate to this.
Get Rich or Die Trying, 82.
Look
Heck
out,
yeah.
man. Look out.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that?
I'm going to start off controversial, though. Does this go before Snoop Dogg?
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not,
Yeah.
trying to start a fight, but because this definitely deserves to be on the list.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Game-changing album right here.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty much by the person.
I think it has more. It has a higher number of iconic songs, I think. And I think it's pretty much equal quality.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely Many Men, Into Club, PIMP.
PIMP was huge.
Yeah, I mean, those three are like very popular.
This is a great gym album, by the way.
Those are very, very popular. And then, yeah, I mean, with Doggy Style, you've pretty much just got Gin and Juice and, a couple others that most people know, but not to the level of those three songs we just mentioned.
Wasn't Wanksta popular?
Which one?
Wanksta, down at the bottom?
Probably. I mean, this is a little bit before my time. It probably was.
Yeah, what year did this come? It was like 03? When is
03
this?
is what it said, yeah. I mean, 21 Questions is my favorite song off of this.
Yeah, 21 Questions, Nate Dogg.
I absolutely love that song, and that's one of Chance's favorite songs as well.
This album is so good that I downloaded the song that has an Eminem feature on it, and I can't stand Eminem fan.
What do you think about him?
Well, he's on the list, so we might have to save our comments.
Yeah, I almost didn't say that because of that.
He's coming.
He would be the cutoff tonight, number 80, so he'd lead off the next episode.
I will tell you, just a preview of the Eminem thing, I didn't realize how many hit singles were on that album, and that impressed me. I would not say I'm an Eminem fan past that album. Maybe the next one.
Okay.
But definitely respect what he's done.
Yeah.
Many Men, If I Can't, PIMP, all phenomenal gym songs.
Yeah.
Those will come on in the gym. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, gonna get you pumped up, man. So definitely totally deserving to be on the list.
And then when did the movie come out?
The movie.
I want to say it's like 5 years after that.
Okay.
Roughly.
I didn't know how soon after that it was.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can see that on here.
Because I think he was well established when the movie came out.
I figured that would be listed pretty popularly on this Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's not.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, great album. Most people know it, and as we were talking about with Usher, In the Club, I think I play it every event I ever do. I mean, who doesn't love that song?
It's packing the dance floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Many songs on that album would pack the dance floor.
Yeah. Our last one for today. After the Gold Rush, Neil Young.
This is one I haven't got to listen to yet, and I want to because I recognize the name Neil Young.
Yeah, you got to.
What do you think about it?
It's fantastic, man.
Good.
It's fantastic. Now, to me, a little bit of negativity. After the Gold Rush is a great song. It's number 2 on the album. I hate to say like it goes downhill from there, but that might be his greatest song. It might be his greatest song. I mean, it definitely, that was the song that got me into Neil Young. So I hold it to a high standard. But certainly you'll enjoy Southern Man, I think.
They have country rock listed as one of his. Would you compare him to like the Eagles in any way?
Yeah, I mean that's a
because I like the Eagles a lot.
Folk rock, country folk, country rock.
I'm not gonna say he got his start here because he might have been in a band before, but he was in Crosby, Stills, Young and Nash.
There's a couple songs there that I have downloaded.
There. And they were 60s.
What a group. Just give us your last name.
They were a group. Yeah, you got to listen to them too because they're icons. And to me, it's like acoustic 60s rock, acoustic 70s rock.
Did they go by CSNY?
I would like that.
Yeah, they did. I think some people call them that, man. And you definitely, I don't think of it as country though. And I see how someone listens to it and says, yeah, this is country, man. He's playing an acoustic guitar.
Is it like in the same way that the Eagles are?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in some vein, the Eagles sound country, but they're not really country. He's not a country person. He wrote this song, Southern Man, and offended the entire South to the point that he got death threats coming through there. And Southern Man, and maybe one other song, is the reason Leonard Skinner wrote Sweet Home Alabama. And it really started like an early Drake feud between Southern people, although they were friends. You know, and that's something people don't see with these feuds. They get so behind their character that they don't see. Leonard Skinner loved Neil Young, you know, and he wrote they wrote Sweet Home Alabama as like an answer song to Southern Man from his dad's perspective. Like, hey, this is what my dad would say, you know. But it really started a beef, man, and Leonard Skinner fans hate Neil Young. And I've heard rumors that Neil Young was like a pallbearer at Ronnie's funeral. Don't know if that's true, but yeah, little bits of info. But yeah, this is a classic album. You got to listen to it. I think you enjoy it, man. Yeah. His work's just beautiful too.
Yeah, this definitely feels like something that you would really like, Aston.
Yeah, that description makes me pretty excited to listen to it.
And pretty cool cover art too, man. I'd never seen the cover. I don't know why, but I kind of dug that a little bit. We have to talk more about the cover art. You sure that was the last one? I thought we were going to 80 or 80.
Well, the 81 would be the cutoff for
the first 20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we might as well save Eminem.
Yeah.
We don't want to get Aston's blood boiling.
And Aston wants to listen. You said you want to listen to that one a little bit more, right?
81.
The Marshall Mathers.
You definitely
not particularly, but I will. Yeah.
You don't want to, but you will.
Yeah.
Do it for this reason only. When it came out, and we've already talked about game-changing rap, Snoop Dogg. This was a game changer.
Yeah.
It scared people. It was super irreverent. It was completely different. Short of Vanilla Ice, there had never been a white rapper that I remember.
Look at the freaking Wikipedia page for this thing. Look how much I've got to scroll.
Where's the controversy section? I bet it's really long.
It is riddled with. I mean, his songs are riddled with controversy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's one song on there about a psychopath murdering their girlfriend. Maybe it was him. It's kind of ambiguous, you know.
Yeah. I saw a Twitter thread the other day of top 20 most disturbing.
Or did you send it? And I looked at it. Yeah.
Most disturbing Eminem lyrics, and I think about half of them came from this album.
Yeah. Yeah. Very disturbing.
I mean,
rightfully so.
The first song is "Kill You."
Yeah,
that's it. There you go.
Oh, the intro's terrible. The intro's terrible. I'd forgot about the intro, and my kids were around, and I started playing it. I'm quickly like, but I was their age when I listened to it.
Yeah,
you know, and I know why the parents were freaked out.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be something we
I'll definitely listen to it.
It'll be a long talk to open up the next episode. Anything else you want to say with this top 20 that we've in this first 20 that we've done?
I think this section is the most questionable part of the list. I think it mostly gets better from here.
It's got to, right? I mean, I told my wife about that. We're going to talk about the worst albums.
Yeah.
And you feel bad saying that, but it's true. You're talking about the worst albums in a top 100 list, which is an interesting way to look at it.
You're also, as we've talked about so many of these albums, they're experimental. They're, maybe a first of their kind. That's where a lot of this is going to fall in.
That's right.
From now on, it's going to be the stuff that pretty much everyone knows.
It's going to be
was
clear
like
cut.
Really, really good and really, really popular.
This next 20 is going to have a lot that I can talk about.
I mean,
I've listened to a good bit of these already.
We've got freaking Tupac, NWA, Metallica, De La Soul, Erykah Badu, Jimi Hendrix.
Okay, I'm gonna
Eminem, Elton John.
I'm gonna need an hour on Metallica.
You got Bad Bunny.
I don't even know who that is. Feel bad.
That is something that I just don't. I will not ever be able to get into.
Yeah,
I was surprised to see that on there.
It should not.
Bad Bunny is so freaking popular.
It should not be that low. It is wildly popular.
It's insane. I just can't. I don't know.
I don't know if I've ever listened to a Bad Bunny. I know I've heard a feature or two.
That's like the Grammys is when I get exposed to stuff like that.
I just
and then you see the people in the crowd and you're like, wow.
To sound not racist as a white English speaking person, how do you listen to this? Honestly, like.
Sounds pretty bad.
But seriously, how do you I don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know the words.
So
literally,
it doesn't appeal to you. But it is popular in the Latino community.
No, but not even that. It's popular to the white random college girls or something. I don't get it.
When I think of Bad Bunny, I think of Kevin Hart's rap character from one of those movies. I want to say he was Bad Bunny.
But yeah, that's something I can't even pronounce the freaking album name.
Un verano sin ti.
There we go. There we go. But yeah, there's that. We'll probably skip over that one pretty quickly next time. But a lot of stuff coming up.
I'll make sure that I've listened to all of them by the time.
I'll try to give it a shot.
The next section at least. By the
let me know.
time
Let me know about the Bad Bunny album.
If I was going to pick one for Aston, I would pick Neil Young. Definitely go back and listen.
I will
to that.
go back. At some point, I'll have listened to all of them.
I got you.
But
yeah, it takes time.
By the time we do the next podcast, I'll have listened to all for the next section.
Bad Bunny's album is
sure.
81 minutes.
It's all right. It's no Taylor Swift.
He had 9 singles off of it.
Jeez. One's Moscow Mule. That's in English.
And then there were 23 songs.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
They're short songs.
Moscow Mule, that's the one. Mi Porto Bonito.
Tarot. Tarot might be the same in Spanish and English, though.
I just watched a movie called that.
Party.
Sucked.
The word party is there.
Party. Here we go. But yeah, I will never understand that fascination. Lot of good stuff to listen to. And
it's going to get better and better coming up.
I'll give it a shot.
I'll try to get a shot with these next 20 and try to work my magic on some of the ones I haven't heard before. At least get a feel for it.
There's some I really love in this section, so I'm interested to see your thoughts on those if you listen to them.
Heck yeah!
I mean, I've already heard.
Oh, there's Portishead.
Dummy. Can't wait. Anything else you want to talk about with this? I mean, just about this first 20.
It was. I just want to talk about how fun it was to do.
Yeah,
it was
very fun.
I'm excited for these next couple parts where we've listened to more of them and they're more well known.
This will be the shortest episode.
Yeah,
this is going to be fun.
The ones I loved and even the ones I hate, I enjoyed experiencing it. And everybody listening, keep an open mind, give something a listen, because I found 3 albums that are in the rotation now.
Yeah, big Tyler the Creator fan. Man.
Tyler the Creator, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say if you like that one, probably don't go backwards. Go to his next album, because I think the ones. Call Me If You Get Lost was the next one.
Yeah.
Backwards is
Cherry Bomb.
Completely different.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's
Cherry Bomb's got a song with Kanye and Wayne though, so that's a positive.
Cherry Bomb's an album. I thought that was a song on there.
I think is that not the name of its album?
I think Igor's the name of the album.
No. The first album. Yeah, Cherry Bomb.
Oh, I didn't know.
This is it.
Oh wait, Igor came out after.
Yeah, Igor's his newest.
Call Me If You Get Lost was after that, though.
Oh, okay. So Igor. Oh, Call Me If You Get Lost is after
Whoa,
Igor.
Crap. Okay. So I just got his all mixed up.
Yeah. Igor is something else.
But Call Me If You Get Lost is one that I think would be the most likely for you to like if you like Flower Boy.
Yeah. Can't wait to go back and check it out.
His older stuff is wild.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. But yeah, I think that's it. About an hour and a half. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll definitely run through the rest of this list and then branch off a new show. Maybe introduce that.
Love it.
In the next month or so, and we'll get it going, man. This is fun. This is fun.
Thanks for tuning in.
1 year. I mean, no.
2 years.
2 years. God, it's gone by so freaking fast. Feels like yesterday we were sitting at Kyle's dinner table talking to my computer mic.
That's right. Didn't even know it.
Yeah, it was fun.
This ain't how it's supposed to be. It should be just you and me. I feel